Welcome to our exploration of the top 10 differences between life in Mongolia and Russia. These two neighboring countries, while sharing a border, offer vastly different experiences in terms of culture, lifestyle, and environment. From the bustling cities of Russia to the vast steppes of Mongolia, we'll dive into the unique aspects that define daily life in each country. Whether you're curious about the economic disparities, cultural traditions, or the natural landscapes, this comparison will give you a comprehensive look at what makes life in Mongolia and Russia distinct. Number 10. Cultural heritage and traditions. Mongolia's cultural roots are steeped in its nomadic past, with traditions dating back to the era of Genghis Khan. Even today, a significant portion of the population continues to practice a semi-nomadic lifestyle, particularly in rural areas. Traditional Mongolian yurts remain a common sight, and festivals like Naadam, which celebrate the three manly sports, wrestling, horse racing, and archery, are integral to Mongolian identity. The preservation of nomadic customs, including herding livestock and moving seasonally, defines much of rural Mongolian life. Russian culture is diverse, shaped by centuries of Tsarist rule, Soviet communism, and modern influences. Its vast history includes significant literary, artistic, and musical achievements with a strong emphasis on Orthodox Christianity in shaping cultural practices. Unlike Mongolia, Russia's urban areas have been heavily influenced by Western European customs, especially in cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg. Traditional Russian festivals like Maslenitsa and Victory Day are significant cultural celebrations, and Russia's ballet, theater, and classical music traditions are world-renowned. Number 9. Climate and geography. Mongolia is known for its extreme continental climate with frigid winters and hot, dry summers. The country is dominated by the vast Gobi Desert, endless steppes, and high-altitude mountain ranges. Harsh winters, known as dzud, make life challenging, particularly for nomadic herders who rely on livestock for survival. The vast open spaces mean that Mongolia has one of the lowest population densities in the world, and many people live in remote, rural settings far from urban infrastructure. Russia, the world's largest country by land area, has a varied climate ranging from subarctic conditions in Siberia to more temperate weather in its western regions. While rural Russia shares some similarities with Mongolia in terms of its harsh winters, the overall geographic diversity is much greater. Russia's landscape includes everything from tundra and taiga forests to fertile plains and mountains. Number 8. Economic structure and lifestyle. Mongolia's economy is largely based on mining, especially coal, copper, and gold, and animal husbandry, with agriculture and pastoralism playing significant roles in daily life. Many Mongolians, especially in rural areas, still depend on herding livestock such as horses, sheep, and camels for their livelihood. Russia has a highly diversified economy driven by its vast natural resources, particularly oil, natural gas, and minerals, along with industries like manufacturing, defense, and technology. In urban centers like Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Yekaterinburg, modern lifestyles dominate with a focus on education, technology, and commerce. Number 7. Language and communication. Mongolia. The official language is Mongolian, written in a Cyrillic script since the Soviet influence of the 20th century, although the traditional Mongolian script is experiencing a revival. Mongolia is a more linguistically homogeneous country, with the majority of the population speaking Mongolian. In rural areas, people may not speak English, although in Ulaanbaatar, English is becoming more prevalent due to increased tourism and international business. Russian is the official language, and it is the most widely spoken language across all regions. Russia is a multicultural and multi-ethnic country, with over 100 different ethnic groups, many of whom speak their own languages, Tatar, Bashkir, Chechen, but Russian serves as the lingua franca. In contrast to Mongolia, English is not widely spoken in Russia, although it is more commonly understood in larger cities, especially among younger generations and in business sectors. Number 6. Urban versus rural life. Mongolia's population is divided between the capital, Ulaanbaatar, and the vast rural steppes. About half of the country's population lives in Ulaanbaatar, which is rapidly modernizing but still retains many aspects of traditional culture. Urbanization is much more pronounced in Russia. Moscow and St. Petersburg are among the largest and most developed cities in Europe, with highly modern infrastructures, world-class public transportation, and booming cultural scenes. Number 5. Government and political system. Mongolia is a democratic republic with a relatively young democracy established after the fall of its communist government in 1990. Mongolians actively participate in elections, and the country has made significant strides in promoting civil liberties and human rights since its transition to democracy. The government's policies are focused on balancing economic development with the preservation of traditional nomadic culture, especially in rural areas. Russia. Russia, on the other hand, has a federal semi-presidential system with a strong central government. Since the early 2000s, President Vladimir Putin has played a dominant role in Russian politics, and the country has faced international criticism for its restrictions on political opposition, media freedoms, and civil liberties. Compared to Mongolia, Russia's political system is seen as more authoritarian, with less public influence on government policies. Number 4. Education system. Mongolia. Mongolia's education system is centralized and heavily influenced by its Soviet past. The literacy rate is high and education is compulsory for children up to the secondary level. However, in rural areas, access to quality education can be limited due to the nomadic lifestyle and the lack of infrastructure. Many rural children attend boarding schools in cities, which can create challenges in maintaining cultural ties to their nomadic heritage. Russia. Russia has a long-established education system with a strong emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics (STEM) subjects. The country's higher education system is well developed, and universities like Moscow State University and St. Petersburg State University are internationally recognized. The Russian government invests heavily in education, particularly in urban areas, and the country's education system is highly structured with a strong focus on academic performance. Number 3. Healthcare access. Mongolia. Mongolia provides universal healthcare, but access to quality medical care varies significantly between urban and rural areas. In Ulaanbaatar, hospitals and clinics are more modern and well-equipped, but in rural areas, healthcare facilities are sparse and many nomadic families rely on traditional medicine or travel long distances to reach a doctor. Mongolia faces challenges in providing healthcare services to its dispersed population. Russia. Russia also has a universal healthcare system, but is more comprehensive in urban areas where hospitals and medical facilities are well-staffed and equipped. In rural regions, particularly in Siberia, access to healthcare can still be challenging, but the country's infrastructure is more developed than Mongolia's. Russia has a well-established network of hospitals and clinics, and its healthcare system is better funded, particularly in cities. Number 2. Cuisine and food culture. Mongolian cuisine is heavily influenced by the nomadic lifestyle with a focus on meat, dairy products, and simple hearty meals. Mutton, beef, and horse meat are staples, while dairy products like fermented mare's milk, arag, and curd are widely consumed. Due to the harsh climate and limited agricultural production, Mongolian food is less diverse and vegetables are often scarce, especially in rural areas. Russia. Russian cuisine is more diverse, reflecting the country's vast size and multicultural population. Traditional Russian foods include dishes like borscht, beet soup, pelmeni, dumplings, and blini, pancakes, with a heavy emphasis on bread, potatoes, and vegetables. Russian food culture is also influenced by various ethnic cuisines from regions like the Caucasus and Central Asia. Unlike Mongolia, Russia's agricultural base allows for a wider variety of fruits, vegetables, and grains to be incorporated into daily meals. Number 1. Religious practices. Mongolia. Mongolia's primary religion is Tibetan Buddhism, which plays a significant role in both public and private life. Many Mongolians visit Buddhist monasteries, celebrate religious festivals, and integrate Buddhist teachings into their daily lives. Shamanism is also practiced, particularly in rural areas, where it is intertwined with nomadic traditions and beliefs in nature spirits. Russia. In contrast, Russia's dominant religion is Eastern Orthodox Christianity, which has deep historical roots in the country. Russian Orthodox churches, with their iconic onion-domed architecture, are prevalent in cities and rural areas. Religion in Russia is generally more formalized, with major holidays like Easter and Christmas celebrated with significant religious ceremonies. In addition to Christianity, Russia has a large Muslim population, particularly in regions like Tatarstan and the North Caucasus, making it religiously diverse. And there you have it, the top 10 differences between life in Mongolia and Russia. We hope this comparison has given you a deeper understanding of how these two fascinating countries contrast in various aspects of daily life. Whether it's the economic opportunities, cultural practices, or the natural beauty, both Mongolia and Russia offer unique experiences that are worth exploring. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we hope you found it as enlightening as we did. If you have any thoughts or additional insights, feel free to share them with us. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.